Hello everyone, it's Roy Cruz, and I'm Son of Peace. It's another NHL 26, a game of the night on EA Sports. This matchup, we are going back to the Everway in Eastern Conference. The part of this matchup is right in the range between the interdivisionals of each teams. That means it's where we go with since Season 1, where they all start, but now it's the rematch to show how things are. The New York Rangers, and they are facing against the Boston Bruins, part of our interdivisional rivalry of this matchup. For this point, we noticing the New York Rangers have already making its new jerseys on its Central Jersey night for their 100th anniversary. And as for Boston Bruins, they have already finished playing the Stadium Series at Tampa Bay, but it wasn't quite easy enough, but those two have a hardest matchup to take. Even New York Rangers definitely beat the Florida Panthers, but the Boston Bruins have lost in a shootout against the Tampa Bay, and they secured their treasure here for our Tampa Bay of the NHL Stadium Series. But now, this time, it's time to have our starting factor players, as the starting goaltenders for the New York Rangers is Igor Shesterkin, and for the Boston Bruins, Jeremy Swayman. So we start here for the New York Rangers, as we have one of our approachments. It's Artemi Panarin. Unfortunately, he is not here for now, so that is going to be missed for its final of its game. They made some new contracts from acquiring from the Los Angeles Kings. Then Igor Shesterkin, who makes that one with the post-to-post, it's a miraculous agility and crease saves. With Adam Fox, he makes ascended pass zones to have some boosting breakouts with tape-to-tape zones. Then Vincent Trocheck, who only makes the Trocheck quick draw runs on no contest zones. JT Miller, who makes the noticing a spark plug and also has a no contest ability. Mika Zibanejad with the quick release in the tape-to-tape zones. Then it's Alexis Lafreniere, a tape-to-tape and an ankle breaker, taking the other way. And then it's Will Cooley with quick release and unstoppable force. And last but not least is Matthew Rempe. Only True Lensless makes a shoulder check possible. Now let's head on things over again to the other side, Boston Bruins. David Pastrnak is one of our keys to have his own take. We noticed that his alternative, a beauty make that he also has is with our hugest alternative captain for their teams. 1T, ankle break, and quick release. With Charlie McAvoy, a Trulensless stick 'em up and warrior zone. Hampus Lindholm with the elite edges and ascended pass with a quick pick. Nikita Zadorov with the Trulensless defensive on the shoulder checks. Pavel Zacha, the big break and the big tipper. Morgan Geekie with the pressure, and that's definitely making a new transfer over with the Tampa Bay Lightning requiring for him. Then it's Jeremy Swayman, the showstopper, building reflexes on the saves to have some remarkable zone. And then it's Elias Lindholm, quick draw, no contest. And lastly, Casey Middlestat for the tape-to-tape zones. Well, that's it for now. And now let's head on down to Boston to find out what they've got. My next commentary partners I have Terry Crews, transferring from the Chicago, and now he's in Boston, along with the other two, Clover, and in center ice, Bonesaw. You're about to be seeing this big interdivisional rivalries between Boston and New York. Rangers and the Bruins are next. Once we get to intermission, we'll know what gets things down. Now let's see what takes this matchup here at TD Garden Arena. Enjoy the game, everyone, and let's get rolling. Boston is the place to be, and we are here at TD Garden. Hi everyone, Terry Crews along with the other broadcast partners, and we are ready to set for our puck drop. The biggest night zone is where we are, and we're ready for the puck drop. Happy St. Patrick's Day everyone, and this is NHL Hockey on EA Sports. Coverage of the game of the night. We start things off here as Jeremy Swayman is the starting goaltender for the Boston Bruins, and for the New York Rangers is Igor Shesterkin. Morgan Geekie will start that off, and he'll now find it again to McAvoy, and he'll send it over to Asperad. Finding the pass to Lindholm, he'll now find it to McAvoy. Swings it over to Asperad. Asperad finds it over to McAvoy, and he'll have it again to Lindholm. This one breaks the puck chain for Mika Zibanejad. On the range to go for the New York Rangers. And a rebound by Mika Zibanejad. This one keeps it, and it goes right over toward the wing. Schneider now finds the Gavrikov. Blocked the shot by David Pastrnak. The other way, as we have is David Pastrnak right around the wall, again to Morgan Geekie. Geekie trying to look at the Kroger, again to Elias Lindholm. He'll now find it to Pastrnak, looks again to Luray. Luray's shot saved by Shesterkin. And here's Gavrikov the other way. Starting players starting to get a lot of a huge hydration going on. And our starting head coaches for the New York Rangers is the return from Pittsburgh, Mike Sullivan. We noticing how he was able to keep things in, but this might have been only his nice take on the effort to show it how it is.
Well, I love this effort. You know, the changing I always really like to say about Mike Sullivan, it's just amazing when I always love to see how this one is going to get. I really appreciate that everyone who's able to watch one of the game. And you know, Mike Sullivan is one of the best head coaches and a legendary is always to understand. The biggest goal is he's just had it all and then changing it for a lifetime. I'm hoping to see things in the greatness of the head coaches.
Here's Vincent Trocheck the other way. He'll fire that one around the net. And a rebounded by Victor Arvidsson for the Bruins. Boston goes the other way. This one will deep the zone by Pavel Zacha. Give the pass over Monk with a save by Shesterkin. Shesterkin is going to hang things on with under 16 minutes remaining in the first. And we have a lot of energy through weights here. Boston and New York. Still enough for score to give. And a win will be on the New York Rangers. Will Borgen along the boards. This one kicks back into New York territory. Here's Robertson. It's sent over to Matt Rempe. He deep the zone right around the net. And here's Peak as he kicks that over. Now here's Pavel Zadorov as he will have it over again. Now find it again to Kushtinov. Kushtinov pass broken up here by Will Borgen. They're battling for the loose puck. And now here's Zadorov, a pass to Peak. Looks to Ismail. Ismail fires that one around the net. And he has it over to Minton. Minton now has it again as Zadorov. Peak shot. That blocks off Ismail with the rebounding and now finds it over to Zadorov. Zadorov shot. He scores! The first goal is on the Bruins. Nikita Zadorov. 52 goals season.
I've never seen how this one is going to get. Zadorov, that pass, and then this is the range where you just have to keep on firing it out. That's the first goal that you're going to really start off. And what happens with the speed and shooting range, once Zadorov gets right over, and then Nikita Zadorov rips it through, and then, as you see, the goaltender is not able to show that enough. That one is just making it pass by. You know, I was never seeing how they were going to get. But that's what you need to know. The Power Rangers is better witness.
So the win for the New York Rangers as he now finds Darren Radius. And here's Laba. Laba lost that one here as Kurali with the rebounding. That'll be the first goal for the Boston Bruins. And as McAvoy goes down, here's Offman. Laba, chance stop by Swayman. 13:30 remaining in the first period. He'll stop and freeze here. And now sending over to the center ice, I will now send over is Bonesaw to start off for Nikita on his better range. David Pastrnak. Thanks, folks. Bonesaw saws this one. Start off here makes it in for anybody that plays for the best, David Pastrnak. But David Pastrnak is really giving some huges on the going effort. He starts that one off with his huge one-time motion. He gets a motion to give this one a hugest credit. It's successful, makes it an easy stride to show things off. What David Pastrnak now with the alternative captain, he has to show it how he makes it able to hold on, and he has got a lot of his own etiquette rules. But now, as for being said, Pastrnak is now the place to serve it all. I'm going to be watching this one under one of the alternative captain to get us on his best foot. Let's see how well he does for the first period. Back to you guys. Thanks, Bonesaw. The rebound here by Miller.
Boston goal.
New York Rangers are on the attack, and now the other way for in the Boston territory.
Of his career, scored by number 91.
J.T. Miller finding the Buchanan shot. Close save by Swayman with 11:11 remaining in the first period.
Michael Isabel, and by number 93, Fraser Minton.
Now sending the other way is the New York Rangers is Igor Shesterkin. When Igor Shesterkin has one of his huges on his miracle moment, the post-to-post is the point goal, they give that one a great look. When there's no change to be around here, it's what happens with Boston to give this a huge strength. Goal saves are just really important. No one stands out with the shot, but there's great ways for Igor Shesterkin. I'll be watching it on one of his post-to-post in the blink to get that good night on the upper. Just keep going like post-save blade. Back to you, Terry. Victor Arvidsson enters the zone and attacking range fighting to Loray. Loray finds Minton. Minton pass to Ismail. Ismail shot off of Igor Shesterkin. Past the midway mark, Elias Lindholm now finds the Minton. And the team will go offside. This will stop the play with 9:32 remaining. Now, I must say this, Clover. The first season was like this, and then the tightest game happened to be like that, and then this overtime wasn't like that before. Do you know how they haven't answered?
Well, they did. I mean, I know that's just definitely what they're just going to try. I noticed that the Bruins are definitely like worshiping it off, and then I just really see it. It's been always great. It's fantastic. And it's really nice. And they play for a lot of huge ton of credit. I mean, no major credit on that, but you just really need to notice that whenever you do for it, you just got to make sure you do it right. I never know how that one is going to change off, but for Boston Bruins, you just really have the dominating effort. Just can't get away with this if you lessly have the right choice. Just try to do your effort. That's all you can go for. Looks like that the season 1 might have to be a tie replacement. And then this opening drain just keep happening.
Boston moving around again as Zadorov. Chance shot, chopped it off too soon as Vakainen will have it down to Berzinski. New York behind the net, and Boston will rebound it again. Knocked him down, rebounded by Zadorov.
Well, that hurt. I mean, you know, that's definitely where it's going to come out to a bang.
That shot's blocked, and it's now Jeanette the other way. And here's McAvoy on the outside. New recruitment change for his Costellic. Shot, big save by Shesterkin. Right to Matt Rempe. The Rangers are right into the wing. Sully shot save by Swayman. And now the rebound will be Costellic. McAvoy will swing it again to Costellic. And a deep zone finding to Lindholm. Lindholm try to find a spin move to ankle break it off. And rebound by Asperat. That gets a loss, and now with only 5:30 remaining, gives Vakainen. Rebound by Lindholm. Kicks that puck over to McAvoy. Here's Asperat. He shoots off the glove goaltender and stopped by Shesterkin.
When you're looking at Brzezinski, that's where to hit, and it just goes right with the bang. You can't panic with that. Brzezinski had that one with a huge saving ability as a hit, and you just really have to keep on attacking. That's what happens when the Rangers wanting to get on some defense. It's just kind of hard to make.
Lindholm wins the faceoff. And now here's Luray. The other way to Lindholm. That's given over by Zibanejad. Mika Zibanejad with the rush. And that gives it away by Lindholm. Right around the net. And here's Luray. Luray chance to Geekie. Geekie finding to Pasternak. Pasternak spins backhand off the goaltender. Morgan Geekie. Luray shoots. Hits off the glove. He scores! Elias Lindholm rebounds it before the end of the first period. 2-0. Bruins.
Now there's a lot of the pressure going on. I mean, watch what happens when you just give it over. And the way it has it, and then you hit the Lindholm, that's when the rebound's going on. Just look at this one here when you just have it to Lindholm. That's passes right to the goaltender, and he wasn't reaching it off too soon. Just great blocker, and this rebound made it lucky. That Lindholm had to be a nice try. He's just really able to have it all.
So Elias Lindholm, with his first rebound, past 5-minute mark in the first period, first goal, he's trying to have his own other rebound to show things off.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he really has it all. One of the lucky ones I wanted to say about Boston that time, they just do not want to leave it alone. Otherwise, you'll be definitely tamered, and you'll be paced by that for real.
Pasternak, oh, what a save by Shesterkin! And rebounded by the Boston Bruins. Stop on a pad save by Shesterkin. And here's Schneider the other way, now flying to Radius. Radius lost that one. And here's a chance over to Pasternak. He now finds Luray. He gives to Geekie. Taylor Radius has got that puck. A transfer from the Washington Capitals. He's been finishing for his own night and playing for some new contracts afterwards before Artemi Panarin was traded. It was not the better look when you really had to change things up. But temporarily, he made it have to change it clear.
Yeah, I know about Artemi Panarin, but he was one of the
And by
best.
number 27,
I'll call the Panarin break.
Lindholm.
And I want to say,
Time to go 15:52
everybody
remaining
really
in the
just
first
said
period.
we were
Elias
really
Lindholm
disappointed
with his
about
15 goal this
we
game.
wanted to see
His
Panarin
246
come
goals
back
his
to
career,
the
assisted by
Rangers.
Mason, Luray, and
Most likely
Hampus
they're down
Lindholm.
by JT Miller
15:52
and as
in
Adam
the first
Fox
period.
and Mika Zibanejad are the only ones. But Vincent Trocheck, they've never been the same thing. And we always
There's
have
last
to be
minute
fair.
play in the first period.
Now we'll have to wait and see about the Kings. This is the next game of the night matchups.
40 seconds remaining in the first period, and now is Arvidsson. Tries to battle for it, but he gets bumped out. Now here's Karek again to Trocheck. It's 15 seconds remaining in the first. And rebound by Peak. Around the net. Ismail clears his own. Borgen with the rebound. And wipes him out. And that will end the first period. They're had a 2-0 lead for the Bruins. There's a lot of hits here going on, and they will have to see if they find a goal for the Rangers. We'll be right back for the second period. 2-0 to score in Boston. Stand by for the intermission report. Welcome to the first intermission, everyone, as me and Roy are about to show things off. What gets things off to a great start as the Boston Bruins have made that one, tied that one to the attack, and made that one with a huge hit. Plus, with the action trackers, there were some hits inside of it and some goals that made that one clear. Here's how he did after the first period. It was 11/9 for the total shots on goal for Boston Bruins and 11 hits over 10. Then it was 5/22 over 115 for Boston Bruins. Then 92 over 86 for our New York Rangers on the passing effectiveness. And they had 6 face-off wins over 3 for the New York Rangers. Now I'll go over to you, Roy Cruz, for Boston Bruins, since they already had started off with the lead.
Exactly, they did. I mean, the start-off lead made this one a huge breakout passes, and it just really turned it out. You know, the biggest of the second section I really wanted to say is that the New York Rangers are just trying to look for their a defensive effort by the Kits. And, the block shot, what they really wanted to do, it's just going to need to keep that one on an eyes-on spirit. Just need some great molecule to have that good consideration. But here's the thing. Even you would be able to be lucky enough, that one might be the first goal on the right timing for you. But mostly, I think the Everybody players did so much better that they start that one up. No penalty to give. It was clean. Now over to you, Centerpiece, for New York Rangers. Well, I've got to admit that Igor Shesterkin really has to do some post-to-post on the blank. But there's a lot of, mismatches. The Boston Bruins are entering into the playoff zone. They're trying to fight into the wild card position, but they still have to find a way to get some another wins if they wanted to keep this up. They're battling from in between from the Montreal Habs and the Pittsburgh Penguins as they're really trying to look for the wild card positions and then try to make that win. But it may be impossible enough if they could keep moving it again if they wanted to keep things back to 1. So we'll have to wait and find out if the Boston Bruins can try to have that one smacking out or the New York Rangers with the goal. Well, that might be the thing there, Son of Beast, because that is going to be a lot of challenge. Definitely said so. And with that, the first intermission has come to the end as we will head you back to Boston to get started for the second period. Stand by as we will be back with you shortly after the second period. See you later for the second intermission. Welcome back as we're ready to get started for our second period for our St. Patrick's Day game. All players are set and we are ready to get back into action. Second period starts now. All right, Clover, this may be one of a bear take and we have something for you. Let's see what your status are.
The Boston Bruins are really starting to make that one with the great appearances. I really love seeing things. It's just what I mentioned it before, because it has started it for Boston Bruins, made that one with a great change. I love this energy. This is a big crowd when they're all out to be here. Speaking of which, the first penalty is going to be on the New York Rangers. That's going to be a cross-checking.
With the goaltender to the bench, here's Asperad. Finding the McAvoy. He swings the Kiki shot and a huge save by Shesterkin. Rebound by David Pastrnak, finding the McAvoy. Asperad shot off the skater and it's rebounded up by the Rangers and we'll get a foot penalty. JT Miller is in the penalty box.
Well, you know what happens with that? That's where the cross-checking is going to get onto him. And that makes him a mess. That's going to, disarrange for the New York Rangers. They really have to stop doing this. Otherwise, that's where the first penalty. That's the first dirty hit.
Power play will start in for the Boston Bruins as now they'll be ready to able to get set.
Boston Bruins really need to get power play. They're going to have to start it out quickly.
New York Rangers penalty number 8, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of penalty, 1:42 remaining in the second period.
With
That's
Victor
New York
Arvidsson by
Rangers on
intermittent,
JT Miller,
here
number
comes
8
the
for
Boston
2-minute
Bruins.
cross-checking. Time of penalty in the
Have it
second
to
period,
Lorraine,
1 minute
fighting
and
again
42
to
seconds. For the
Now pass
Boston
Lorraine.
Bruins
And
power
should
play.
stop by Shesterkin. 17:47 remaining in the second period and 1:29 remaining for the Boston power play. And now they'll be ready to get their next puck drop ready. Dane wins the faceoff. Lorraine outside. Lindholm finding to Arvidsson. Lorraine. Oh, he just missed it. And now here's Matt Rempe. Chance for a short-handed goal. Good poke check by Lorraine. And Casey Vilestad will have it for the Boston territory to the New York Rangers territory as the power play continues with under a minute. Nails that shot. Stop by Shesterkin. 47 seconds remaining for the Boston power play and only 7:05 remaining. 17:05. Let's correct that clock. Now waiting for New York Rangers. Gavrikov will fly that puck out of here. Pastrnak goes down. The Bruins the other way, now finding the Pastrnak, and now 20 seconds remaining for the power play. Zacha, pass to McAvoy.
signs. It was about to be up.
Here comes Radius. On mid rush. Move around. Stopped by Swayman. Rebound by McAvoy as the power play comes short for the Boston Bruins.
Well, that's what happened about him. I was never seeing things about the short-handed goal, but what a save on Swayman. Well, you can see that reaction that happens with Jordan Swayman. That's really where you're around in the middle. And this backhand just made it over with the blocker. That saving was a great way to have it on. If you can't stop on, it was a big turnaround, and then you have that one blocked up. That's one of the coolest. I love seeing this one there, Joe.
Still a lot of time left to remain in the period. It is a 2-0 lead, Boston. Mika Zibanejad wins the face-up. Kushyanov trying to watch the rebound. And that will be over again to Kushyanov. Here's again. And that's given by Schneider. Again to Mika Zibanejad. Zibanejad lost that one as Isamon finds it to Kushyanov. Deeps around the zone. And it's bitten the other way. Again to Kushyanov. Finds pass Lindholm. Lindholm pass to Laurent. Knocked him down. Spark plug by J.T. Miller. And here's Peralt. Peralt shot saved by Swayman. Over to Jurgen. And another save again by the goaltender. And there'll be another delay penalty. That's going to be on the New York Rangers. Second consecutive on the delay penalty kill for the Rangers as the extra tackler's on.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's really going to hurt. You know what happens? This is the dirty work they're not doing. Because nobody was able to have the answer. This attacker is going to make them hard. No one likes that at all.
Lindholm pass. Mitten. Outside again to Laurent. Laurent shoots. Blocker saved by Shesterkin. Laurent's got that puck. And Casey Millsack will have it right around the back of the net. Trying to give it to Laurent. Referee hand still up in the air with under 13 minutes. Asperod finds Laurent. Sure, stop by Shesterkin. And now it's going to be a back-to-back penalty kill for JT Miller.
Yeah, you see what happens? That's the same thing you did. And then you just knock someone over. That's bad news. That's bad news. It's a lot of that play. JT Miller is going to have to be sent out in the penalty box. That's going to hurt.
Just 1 for 1, and there's 0 for 1 for the Boston Bruins power play.
Just needed. I mean, I just would like to see the Boston Bruins have. I think this power play might be simple.
New York Rangers penalty number
Here's
2
Hacha,
minutes for
a
cross
save
checking.
made by
Penalty
Shesterkin.
7:13 remaining in the second
Rebound by
period.
Geeky.
That's New York Rangers
Here's
penalty. JT
Hacha,
Miller,
another
number
one's
8 for
denied
2
by
minute cross
Shesterkin.
checking. Time of the penalty,
Under
7:13
12:30
remaining in the second
second
period. For the
As
Boston
Shesterkin
Bruins
trying to
power
watch his
play.
timing. Still got a very good, comfortable scorings and a chance drive as another big saves by the goaltenders. Now the winning faceoff will be Gavrikov. That sends all the way down, and now the rebound by David Pastrnak. Now here's McAvoy for the Bruins. Bruins on this attack. McAvoy. Again to Pastrnak. Pastrnak. Cuts motion inside. What a save by Shesterkin. And rebounded by Schneider. And back to Pastrnak to Zacha.
This is one of a huge save. I was acting like, what is going on? I mean, that was crazy. You see what happens with Shesterkin? That's what you get away for.
Here's Pastrnak again. And now the no contest zone is backed out as he'll dump that zone around the net. Boston goes the other way. Now finds again a Geeky as the Bruins take it into New York territory. And here's Taylor Radius. Again a Trocheck. He'll clear that zone out. And now here's Pastrnak.
JT Miller ready to be out there.
The Bruins unable to take the power play goals. They're 0 for 2 in the periods.
Well, that happens with a huge save. I mean, I was watching on Shesterkin. He had a lot of a huge save. This impacting was a bit crucial. This glorious moment happened to be with only anybody. And I mean, There's a lot of things when I need to talk about things for Igor Shesterkin. You have to be watching on that, but that clearly made a great range. I mean, that's what happens with a huge save, stopping on close runs. Check out this one last play, and you noticing that Shesterkin had that pad save. That's what I mean. You just block her, and you're really able to see things. That's what I was able to hope for, but Shesterkin had a huge, horrendous moment.
Now is ready to have the puck drop with passing a midway mark in a period. And a win will be on the New York Rangers. Will Borgen. Back to Laba. Laba finding to Offman. And here's Zaka. A send-off to Arvidsson. Arvidsson sends Zaka shot. No, stop by Shesterkin. 9:24 remaining in the second period. He'll stop and freeze here. A critical draw made as the New York Rangers have won 12/5 for the pressure on a face-off puck drop. Kurali wins the face-off. Here's another one to Zadorov. And back to Jeanette. Jeanette, nowhere to find. Finding Zadorov. Zadorov, and it's broken up. Rebound by David Kostelic. And finding Zadorov. Peak shoots, blocked the shot. Rebound by Zibanejad after JT Miller. And JT Miller in the range. Shot, huge save by Swayman. Now here's Kostelic. 8:20 remaining in the second period. This will fire on a net. Off to Jeanette. Minton shoots, blocker save by Shesterkin. Rebounds by Kostelic. Here's an artful Prakrin zone. Zadorov shot, kicked it away, and a big stop by Shesterkin. And Zibanejad will clear it out of zone. Deep the zone in the range without offside for the New York Rangers. Here's another one to McAvoy. McAvoy off again as Zadorov. Zadorov trying to go right past Robertson, and that one banks it out. Here's Perrault. Perrault missed the angle, and Michael Isamount will give it to Kostelic. Flips it around the other side of his zone. Mitten the other way. Back to Asperod. Asperod finding Isamount. That goes down, rebounded up by Perrault. The Rangers goes right into the Boston territory. Backhander shot, stop made by Swayman, and rebounded by McAvoy. Another range for Isamount, and here's Asperod. This one gives it over to Kostelic. Kostelic with a new line group change. Now the other way will be the New York Rangers. Pass to Lafreniere. Lafreniere shot, bounced it, and stopped by Swayman with a lucky save.
That's right. Lucky look. Wow, it was pretty close afterward. I saw that puck bouncing. That's what's going to be hard to try to keep that out.
The win for New York. That's picked out, save made by Swayman, and rebounded by Elias Lindholm. Lindholm with the everway chance. The deep on the zone to Pasternak. That one gives it out. And here's Brzezinski. Brzezinski gives to Karek. Karek shots blocked. Tipped away and stopped by Swayman. Diving play and stops it with under 4:30 remaining. Still lots of pressure to be here as Blades watching it. Boston still making a good control here. Shot staved up, but this rebound, they're going to have to replay that if there was a goaltender interference.
Let's see what happens with that. I mean, I think that's a goaltender interference. Yeah, I could tell that Trocheck was in there, and it looks like he was spilling over. So that might be a good call on that. When he was over it, I bet that was going to be a goaltender interference. So they're going to deny that.
With the luckiest on the take, no score for the New York Rangers after a goaltender interference by the officials, by the referees. Zaka takes off, and now here's Lindholm. Finding to Milsad. He's off to Luray. Luray looks to Zaka. And back to Luray, and he'll fire that one around the net. Casey Middlestad finds it to Lindholm. Lindholm pass to take over to Arvidsson. And no hits here. Lindholm slides it back. Snuck. Shots blocked by Schneider. Schneider will clear that out. And back to Luray. That broken up the chain by Vincent Trocheck. Bumps it across behind the net. Casey Middlestad has it again to Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson looking comfortably. Rebound by Lafreniere and back to Trocheck. Here's Trocheck. That one sticked him up by Charlie McAvoy. And here comes the Boston Bruins. To Pasternak, it's given away by Gavrikov. Schneider will have it. And as New York come back on the attack, here's Radius. Radius chance in middle. Save by Swayman. And here's Slagholm the other way. And he'll fire that one to Pasternak. Here's an arrow look here for the opposite side for Asperov. And a chance over to McAvoy. McAvoy spinning his way in. Chance in play in motion. And he's been troubled up. And back over the other way is Gavrikov. Puck sends all the way down. No icing on the Rangers. Just 1 minute remaining in the second period.
There's 1 minute to play in the second period.
Knocked him at the hit. Rempe, stop and deny by Swayman.
This is what happens. I noticed Matt Rempe. He just wants his goal. But nope. That one's not going to be enough.
Still in a cup puck zone, Kushyanov. And because Zibanejad gives to Taylor Radius the other way. 10 seconds. Fires a shot. Blocked. Kushyanov finding the mitten. Mitten to beat the shot. And it's blocked. And cannot get the goal for his amount as we end the second period. There's a huge save by Shesterkin. What a wonderful save on the stoppage by David Pasternak. And we will take a break in the first to second period. We'll be right back with you shortly for the third period. Now for a second intermission as we stand by. Hey everybody, welcome to the second intermission of the NHL Game of the Night on EA Sports. It's a lucky luck day here at just only 2-0 for the Boston Bruins. Here's how you did with the total statistics. 22 over 20 total shots on goal for Boston, 26 over 18 hits for New York Rangers. And it was 11-01 over 216 for the Boston Bruins. Then 90 over 85% of the passing effectiveness for New York Rangers, with only 14 over 7 face-off wins for New York Rangers, but only the penalty kill happened to be with 4 minutes for the New York Rangers, and no power plays was made for the Boston Bruins with 4 minutes on the power play. So let's go over to you, Roy, about how was the New York Rangers knocking and striking. Igor Shesterkin found a way with the comfortable answer. What does this mean to you? Well, I might say Igor Shesterkin had one of a huge save. It just doesn't make anything that's really hard or anything that's really difficulty. That can be a lot of challenging. I mean, nobody in the offense, I was really sure that New York Rangers are just trying to keep that out. I mean, this is what they were really due for if they just can't get back in offense. Believe me, it really would have to, try to make sure that this will be the harder chance to keep that one coming out. Alright, now send it over to you, Son of Beast, for the Boston Bruins. Well, my take for the Boston Bruins is that the New York Rangers really wanted to seek out, but for Jeremy Swayman, I've got a great eyeing feeling. He had a wonderful, massive saves, and he's really trying to stop on the New York Rangers with the attack. But thankfully, the referee saw that because he was right over in the crease, and that must have been a goaltender interference. So that was what happened with that, and what a making this is, that they really have a lucky answer. I mean, that's what they are just doing. Just cannot get away with that. If you really wanted to play this your own zone, you just have to watch out with that. This is definitely going to make that one hurt aggressively than the other. Well, that's it for now for the second intermission. And let's see what happens with the New York Rangers if they get a goal on there. You'll never know what comes next. Now back to the studio to the TD Garden Arena is Terry Crews. I'll see you all later, everybody, for the post-game show along with Roy Cruz. Now enjoy yourself. Third period begins now. Don't poke the bear as we are finishing up the third period in Boston. Well, the finishing is on its way, and with the celebration of the St. Patrick's Day event, it goes all for everyone in Boston. Make anything that's special right out of your heart. Let's have your takes in, Clover, of how you spot that on for the second period, and what does it take you to keep on coming back?
Well, absolutely did. I mean, it's definitely on Shesterkin, but he made some wonderful save. Just what I mentioned before, I mean, whenever he does for some reasons, it's just a great way when geeky teams just had to come back. They really had been like adoptable for anybody. For most reasons, I have to say that this was a lot of effort that they had to work through. Just can't get away with that? No. There's a lot of things that we had to do for things for Boston Bruins. They kept on going, and they did.
With nine-man rush, that one sends it over back to Casey Middlestad. Here's another one to Elias Lindholm. He'll have it right around the net. And here's Arvidsson right to the corner. Lorray again to Middlestad. Finding a pass is over to Lorray, again to Arvidsson. And as Asperad, he will have to save it up. Now Lorray will have to send new line groups here. And now here's Mitten with some new regrouping changes. Lorray goes out. Is around right to a corner. Back to Lorray. And back on ice. Again will be Lindholm. Lindholm shoots. Blocker saved again by Shesterkin. The Rangers are carrying it with a full extra attacking advantage. Schneider finds Carrick. Carrick shoots. That is off the skier over the stick. And that's rebounded by, again, for Boston. Kushyanov the other way. And here's Carrick. Carrick stops that one. Oh, a big hit. That made him a little bit of a hurt and wacky motion afterwards.
Well, it's just really there. Boston's trying to make the poke on the Rangers. That makes it harder to do things.
Big save by Swayman. Here's another one to Schneider. Shots blocked by Kushyanov. Now, yes, Lindholm, you'll now carry a send-off pass, and Schneider taken away. Leo Cooley with the stick lift by Pete, and he'll just try to get that out of here. Here's Schneider to Rempe. Shot stopped by Swayman. Just past 5 minutes in the third period, and he'll be able to get ready for another puck shot.
What Schneider sometimes really makes, that's definitely when a close-up is going to snap. I mean, now he has 3 hits. You just really need to, give a little bit of a close-up. He may just have it all, but he can. But he's just knocking him very quickly.
The win for Trocheck as he wins the face-off. And that one is given up. Peak rebounds over to Arvidsson. The Bruins carry it over to Zacha. And back to Arvidsson. He shoots one. Pat save. Almost been tipped back in. And Alexis Lafreniere will have it again to Borgen. Borgen pass to Cooley. Here's Cooley. Pass to Lafreniere. And Robertson shot. Oh, what a block by Zacha. Nikita Zadorov to get to Pavel Zacha. Here's the Zacha motion. Pass off. Denied. That goes on Shesterkin. Under 13 minutes remaining to third.
Well, this happened to be a butterfly effect, and that's a post-to-post zone. That really makes it a wonderful save to make this great a game right now. Watch what happens with this. When Shesterkin watches from the post-to-post play, that's where he's going to come right by. That makes a huge save to have that aggressive, honest aggression and driving and better range.
Elias Lindholm wins the face-off. And here's Charlie McAvoy. Geeky shot. Glove high up in the air by Shesterkin. And Morrow has gotten over to Laba. Again to Offman. This one, lost that one. Laba stopped that one down. Here's Vakkanen. Now David Pastrnak has it across. Here's Laba. One-timer shot. Stopped by Swayman. And a Warrior resistant now gives it over to Morgan Geeky. He dishes it around the net, and now it's Pasternak's carried it in the wing. Have it over to Asperod. He stumbles it, and he just can't hold on. McAvoy. Try to watch him close. Lindholm shot. Huge save. Basket Pasternak's. And 11:20 remaining in the third period.
That's really craziness when you're just looking at it. For Hampus Holmberg, I mean, Hampus Lindholm, and then Elias Lindholm. He's trying to able to have a great shot on the goal, but that's just really hard. When you have that pass over to the Pasternak's, that's really what you're gonna get. Nothing says for a matter if they did.
The Rangers go back in the offensive zone, and here's Hoffman. Back to LeRae. LeRae can't hold on. Jeanette finding the Lindholm, and now here's the Boston attack. Lindholm shot. Stop made again by Shesterkin. Morrow finding the Zibanejad. And here they go the other way. On the shot. Huge save by Swayman. Zibanejad in the middle, and he can't get through. The rebound by Elias Lindholm, and he'll send it to Zacha. Zacha finding Arvidsson, and here's a chance in play. Zacha shot. Big save by Shesterkin. Jeanette watching the battle. Here comes Arvidsson. And Zadorov fires a deep. Denied by Shesterkin.
This is really what they're getting. I mean, this is going to have to be a hardest matchup. This play motion may be hard to determine.
Arvidsson. Pesh. Peak. Firing again to Zacha. Zadorov. One-time Zacha shot. Saved by Shesterkin. Zacha. Swing it back a little bit. Corner to Peak. Shoot save by Shesterkin. Now we will clear out of the zone for Mika Zibanejad when there are 8 minutes remaining. And Jeanette, if that zone out of here, we'll have to give it to Brzezinski. Alexis Lafreniere right around the net. Here's Pavel Zacha as he's behind the net. And now to send a deep pass over. Oh, Arvidsson, he's going to take it over. Moves around, stop on a pad, kicked out. Glove save by Shesterkin.
Oh man, Shesterkin. That's really what I was able to expect on. This post-to-post blank shot really denied the effort.
Garrett, move around, shots blocked again. And here's Mitten for the Bruins. Here's Kushyanov. Kushyanov finding the Isabel. In middle of the Mitten, shoot save by Shesterkin. 6:07 remaining in the third period.
When I was looking at it again, but Shesterkin, watch what he did. This is when that pass kicks out, and then this save was turning it over and under. Check what happened with that save. This period was a tip pad, and then this goal catch was just like that. That's definitely the closest one to make a range.
New York wins the face-off, and here's Perreault finding to Schneider. Schneider finding to Gavrikov. That one will carry it again by Mitten, and here's Asperov. A send back over to McAvoy. McAvoy, pass Ismail. He fires there, another save by Shesterkin. And Zibanejad will clear it out. Still trying to look for a goal for the New York Rangers. Perreault's shot's blocked by Asperov. Kicks that over to Lindholm. Lindholm to send again to Geeky. Geeky spin across. But chance play, save on a pad by Shesterkin, and McAvoy with the rebound. Now here's Offman as the New York Rangers are trying to look for a separation for the goal and a claim clock. Another save by Swayman. Rempe, fire shot, saved by Rempe. Stop up by Swayman, and it's already been covered up with only 4:07 remaining in the third.
Well, that Jerry Swayman is the other way that you're watching him. Just look at that motion. His offense is really dipping it all what he can. I just looked at it. That's the range when you need a hard feeling to have that pressure off. Don't give an excuse with anything. That's because of Jerry Swayman. He had a great game of the night.
Now they'll be able to get another puck drop ready. And it's just only 2-0 lead Boston. Elias Lindholm wins the faceoff. It's taken away by Trocheck. Here's a shot, blocked by Asperon. David Pastrnak, he's gonna get it all. Move around, scores! David Pastrnak stands the crowd. Let me hear you roar.
Well, I'll be. You know what David Pasternak's made? That's really one of the sweetest pass off. And then this tipped off range, that first goal is going to make that crowd go to a wild roar. I mean, he's the only one that plays on the split release when you got the timing up restoration. You just have it all. The timing is simply everything. Nobody was able to attack on him. And then with Shesterkin, he didn't have the right choice to do it. That makes another goal for the Rangers, as they're already trying to look for an answer.
We've already passed the 5-minute mark in the third period, presented by Discover, and now here's Lil Ray, and he finds it over to Elias Lindholm to give it to Middlestad. Dipped around the wall, and here's Arvidsson. He's behind the cage, now finding to Zacha. Zacha, back to Will Cooley. Here's Will Cooley the other way for the Rangers. Find that pass, Lafreniere shot, and he scores. They're now on the board. That is for the New York Rangers with a late sudden third period. Alexis Lafreniere with the first goal of the game.
I mean, just waiting for a long time, and you just had to watch this. This play action happened to be with only Will Cooley, and then when you have it Lafreniere, that's where the screen's going to make him hit. Because that one almost was going to deflect it, and Lafreniere, he had that one swooping it in by. I mean, that's really the hardest one to make, but just look at this. This is what happens when there's nobody on the range, and you were trying to block the shot. I mean, goaltenders may not be able to find it, but you just have to be very careful if you're going to get it through.
Now to win for Lava, here's over to Borgen, and then Victor Arvidsson find again to Middlestad. Up and looks to Borgen.
His 44th goal of the
Borgen
season.
finds to Robertson.
93rd goal of his career.
Here's
Scored
Radius.
by number 88.
Radius moving around,
David
shot saved by Swayman.
Pastrnak.
And he'll freeze it here with only 2:18
He's
remaining.
assisted by number 45, Jonathan Asperod. Time of the goal, 16-18
Just looking at one last chance for David Pastrnak. This is what I really would be able to say for this game. David Pastrnak was definitely doing all that he can. But then this third period,
16-18
only
in
did
the third period.
Whoa! Just what you need to know for. When David Pastrnak said this own goal, that's what you have to believe on the right hand.
Who had a better player of the night? I will now send it over. Is, of course you know, the one of the feeling, Bonesaw. Well, that's why there's Bonesaw. Facial the treatment is just great. And Trinity, and now this is where the answer makes. David Pastrnak was the finishing that everybody stands out. I mean, so many stuff in a goal range. Wasn't like that. They would just really need to keep on strangling it and use a lot of attack. That gives away huge effort. No one just get the job done. Happens with David Pastrnak, king of the Euro. He'll be back for more, and this will be the next game to keep the eyes right across the world. Back to you, Terry. Down to a final minute in the third period.
There's 1 minute of
David
play in the
Pastrnak
third
finds the
period.
two on a save stop by Shesterkin. We're under a minute remaining in the third period. It is a 3-1 game, Boston. New York Rangers trying to look for a closest game, and now with only 36 over 26 shot hits in the game, Boston Bruins trying to look for the win on its amazing St. Patrick's Day event of the game of the night. Here's Shesterkin in a penalty box. Wow, what a slam down! And Asperod, he will try to finish it, and he scores! That's going to end it off as Boston destroys the New York Rangers. Slash them out.
Well, after this big game by Vermont, then this is what Asperod made this. I mean, that's great range. He wants to have that pass, but there's no chance. You don't have to worry about this because that goal is easy to make.
Now to win for the New York Rangers. Time is running out. And here's
Boston
Miller.
goal. His first
Trying
goal
to have
of
a
the
chance
game.
for the
His
goal.
first goal
And a
of
shot
NHL
blocked, saved by
career.
Swayman.
Scored by number 45,
Asperov.
Jonathan
The rock shot,
Asperov.
saved by Swayman. And he
Assisted by
holds it
number
on
11,
with only
Casey
24 seconds.
Middlestad. Time on the empty net goal for the Boston Bruins, 19-19 in the third. Jonathan Asperov,
Fans
his
still
first
loving
goal
it
of the
so
game, his
far.
first of his NHL
As we're waiting for
career.
another puck shot for the last one. For the win, he gets advantage at saved by Swayman. And he kicked it out again by Swayman. Last chance for the possession for the Rangers. And that will be Arvidsson, and that is going to end in for the Boston Knights. What a win for the Bruins. Final score is 4-1. When you don't think about winning it, you just have to be lucky if you make that great goal on the win.
Well, I do believe on Jeremy Swayman. That's what happens when he knows about the Stadium Series. You just have to believe on that. And every time you think of it, you just have to play it like you're on for the comfortable scores. And how about Blaze? We salute to the fans. This is definitely one of the amazingness to keep on acting like Browns. Just gotta make it happen. Whatever you do for it, just come back for another day.
Well, along my broadcast partner, along with Bonesaw, and along with me and Culver, I'm Terry Crews. You've been watching the game of the night of the NHL, our biggest St. Paddy's Day afterwards. We'll see you next time for another game of the night, and we'll see what next game goes on. Good night, everyone, and so long in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, thanks, Terry. Time for 3-star players of the game as we start with the 3rd star, Elias Lindholm with 1 goal and 3 hits. Only this did that, and this is the 3rd hit where he wakes it a smack right toward the wall. Then, the 2nd star player of the game for the Boston Bruins was only on that turned to be Jonathan Asperov with the overtime of the empty net goal, and only with the hit that turned it the other way before the extra tacker. And then your 1st star player of the game goes to Jeremy Swayman with 35 saves of the row. And here's the total statistics. 40 over 36 for the total shots on goal for Boston over New York Rangers. 38 over 27 for the New York Rangers on a hit. Then 50-35 over 349 for the Boston Bruins on the attack. 91 over 85 percentage for the New York Rangers. And then it was 21 over 11 for the face-off wins for the New York Rangers over Boston. For only 4-minute penalty kill, and no power play goals was made for the Boston Bruins. So, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's game. And if you're looking forward to the next game, the next matchup we have is the Colorado Avalanche, and they will be facing against Nashville Predators. I think this next one should be amazing at Mile High. What do you think? I mean, I'm going to say so, but that might be just a harder way to do for this matchup. Let's find out how this will take. Well, folks, that's going to end us here, and I hope you all enjoyed it for our game of the night of the NHL on EA Sports. With that being said, if you'd like to see some more of each videos, please send a comment box below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep more contents from raising up high and with some gaining more views attention. There's a lot much way that we can definitely try to change things off into another. And if we make it to 1,000 subscribers, the secondary channel will be the gaming channel. So once we hit, there will be some new changes to keep on coming back afterwards. So don't panic, don't feel frustrated. We'll get you back right after it soon. You'll never know when it changes out. Anyway, that is it for now, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and so long for us a while as the game of the night of the NHL dial. This is Roy, and son of Beast here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again for the next game. Good night.
If you don't, somebody will.